In the midst of the issues with Iran and the US, things are still moving ahead in Iraq. It may be an uphill battle for al-Sudani and al-Ali al-Alaq, but they is still aggressively moving forward. The dinar is finally rising in relation to the dollar. Yes, the dinar is finally slowly rising. It should not be long before Iraq rises to the top of the Middle East and they advance in the rest of the world in global stature. We are not likely to see any reinstatement of the dinar until Iran is broken. I mean the government leadership toppled and the terrorist networks abolished. I am told by my CBI contact this must take place to move ahead in Iraq and free Iraq. As long as Iran exists in its present state, the US is not going to release, or free, its dinar to the world. Really will be glad to see an end to this movie. Mark Z. I think they are about to run the credits. It is continuing the pattern that no one is saying it's a scam. If they do say it's a scam, it's probably a teller, but everything behind the teller, what do they say? Not at this moment, not right now, no, we're not exchanging. But they don't say it's a scam anymore. Parliamentary finance. We expect the budget tables to reach Parliament in the middle of this month. Quote, the government will send the schedules in the middle or before the end of this month. Changes are happening in Iraq. We can only hope this means an increase, even a small increase, in the value of the currency is on the agenda further down the road. We have reason to believe the value of the currency will automatically push up once the development road project is in place. Though the BRICS have been doing a lot of saber rattling about breaking away from the dollar, OPEC remains king of oil, and that means all oil transactions will be in USD. Here is the latest report from the Minister of Oil on Iraq's part in OPEC and their reassurance and adherence to the rules of OPEC. Article: The Iraqi Ministry of Oil has reaffirmed its full commitment to the OPEC Plus production agreement, including additional voluntary cuts and compensation for excess production. The Ministry of Oil emphasized the crucial role of OPEC Plus agreements in stabilizing global oil markets and highlighted the importance of collective efforts from all member states to maintain market balance. It appears to us there was no auction on Monday. We don't see anything on the television and the news like usual. Frank, we noticed that too, that there were no auctions. I really don't care. The auctions are no longer important to us, but I'd like to see the flow of money, of cash money. I don't know if this is Sudani's way of continuing to hide information from Parliament. That's the only reason I can come up with. The overwhelming amount of my bond sources are very excited about what they have learned today and the appointments they have been to. They are now being told that all the 7 major groups will be paid in full over the next 2 weeks. Now that does not mean we, currency holders, will be waiting that long. But this is huge news. I am excited about the sheer number of contacts that told me today was the day they started moving forward. I continue to be told that by the 17th or 18th of March all bonds would be paid. I was always told only a portion needed to be paid before we, currency holders, get to go. I think things will get pretty exciting over the upcoming week. Expert. Stopping the currency auction at the Central Bank of Iraq is behind the return of the dollar's rise. They're still focused in on that digitization of Iraq and digital currencies. The effects of that are going to be profound. The use of currency is not going to be the way it was in the past in Iraq. They are going to a cash-less society. Not completely no cash, but they're going that way. The amount of small denominations that they've talked about will be limited. It won't be as profound as it has been in the past, that's for sure. Al-Alaq, 20 Iraqi banks practice direct transfer operations. Quote, today, there are 20 Iraqi banks practicing direct transfer operations with international correspondents in 8 foreign currencies, within the new system. Question, do you think the Vietnamese dong could go before the Iraqi dinar? At this point, no. You like a pregnant mother that's 9.5 months pregnant. I believe that's where we're at with the Iraqi dinar. The Vietnamese dong, I believe they're still kind of like just finding out the test results was positive. Vietnam has amazing potential, especially with Trump around now. Due to the collapse of the Toman, Iranian parliament dismisses the Minister of Finance. Quote, Iran's parliament on Sunday dismissed Finance Minister Abdolnazar Hamadi after launching a no-confidence vote. MP Mukhtar al-Musawi confirmed today, Wednesday, that al-Kazemi and his close associates stole Iraq's money and must be brought to justice. Al-Musawi said in a statement to Al-Maluma agency, former Prime Minister Mustafa al-Kazemi is trying to remarket himself politically to obtain a position or run in the upcoming elections, noting that whoever meets him from the political class does so out of personal motives and interests and not out of national motives. He explained that al-Kazemi's government did not provide any real achievement for Iraq, but rather witnessed major financial corruption operations, stressing the need to hold him accountable and investigate him regarding the budget that disappeared during his rule. He added that al-Kazemi and those close to him, such as Rod Juhi and his brothers and Noor Zuhair, formed a corruption system that drained state funds, calling on the competent authorities to take the necessary legal measures to hold them accountable. Economic expert Nabil al-Marsomi warned on Wednesday of a terrible backwardness in the Iraqi oil sector, pointing to clear contradictions in the policy of importing and exporting oil products. Al-Marsomi said in a statement received by Shafaq news agency that Iraq exported about 12.910 million tons of petroleum products in 2024, including 11.548 million tons of black oil, equivalent to 90% of total exports. In contrast, Iraq imported about 2.483 million tons of gasoline in the same year, which, according to al-Marsomi, reflects the terrible backwardness suffered by the oil refining sector. He explained that black oil constitutes about half of the production of Iraqi refineries, although its prices in the global market are lower than the prices of crude oil. Al-Marsomi pointed out that the government had hoped to achieve self-sufficiency in gasoline after operating the Karbala refinery, but this did not happen due to the problems the refinery was suffering from and other reasons. Informed sources reported on Wednesday that the mechanism for paying the expenses of production and transportation companies constitutes an obstacle to resuming the export of oil produced from the fields of the Kurdistan region to the Turkish port of Ceyhan through the federal company, SOMO. The sources told Shafaq news agency that the Kurdistan region delegation that visited Baghdad early this week did not reach solutions to speed up the export process, due to the insistence of the companies concerned to obtain production and transportation fees in advance, before starting the export, indicating that the federal government in Baghdad refused to hand over any money to the region before settling all financial matters, including the debts owed by the Turkish side to Baghdad, nor any financial dues in advance before